Hello students, today we are going to learn something very interesting. We know about the natural things, the nature, and we know about the plants. So tell me the parts of the plants. Yes, you. Leaves. Okay, very good. Sit down. Yes, you. Fruits. Good. Sit down. And tell me a more beautiful thing of the plants. Yes, you. Flower, very good. Sit down. So, today we are going to learn about a flower. So, we are going to start with the structure of flower. Write down the main topic of today, the structure of flower. We all have seen a flower. This is a very beautiful thing of the plant. But scientifically, we have to draw a proper structure of flower. In the easy way, I am going to learn you how to draw it. So, we are going to draw very interestingly. So, follow me. Put your pen, open your notebook and follow me. Repeat after me. Draw two parallel, middle of them curves. So, I told you, draw two parallel lines and middle of them there are two curves. So, repeat after me. Draw two parallel, middle of them curves. Upper the stigma, this is carpal. Okay. Then, upper part of this flower is called stigma. The parallel lines we have drawn here, this is style. The round part of this is ovary. In the ovary, there is ovule. Draw some flower petals below sepal. Draw some flower petals below sepal. I told you these things I sketch here are flower petals. Flower petals. And these are sepal. There is a one difference between these two things. The sepals are the green leaves of the plant and the petals are the colorful petals of the flower. Okay? Now, draw some filaments, upper anthers. We have drawn some filaments. Upper of them, there are anthers are situated. Draw some filaments, upper anthers. Okay, these are called filaments. So, we are repeating the structure. Repeat with me. Draw two parallel. Middle of them comes upper stigma. This is carpal. Draw some flower petals. Draw sepals. Now draw filaments, upper anthers. And this is structure of a full flower. Okay? So, we are learning with a song that how a structure of flower is drawn. Okay? Now, this is the time of your test. We have learned the structure of flower. All the part of a flower we have learned. Now, The time is for your test. Yes, tell me. You stand up and tell me, what is this? Very good. This is anther. Sit down. You stand up and tell me, what is this? Very good. Sit down. This is flower petals. You stand up. What are these? Very good. Nice answer. These are sepals, the leaves of the plant. Very good. You stand up and tell me, what is this? Very good. This is stigma. Sit down. And what are we missing? Who tell me? Yes, very good. There are filaments we have missed. So, we have completed the whole structure of flower. So, do you all like the fruits? Yes, I also like the fruits. So, do you know how a fruit generates? No? Don't worry. I will tell you about how a fruit generates from a flower. So, the process in which the fruit generates from a flower is called reproduction. Write down the new topic with me, reproduction. Reproduction in plants. Although there are two types of reproduction in plants, asexual and sexual. But today I will teach you about sexual reproduction of the plants. So, the topic of ours is sexual reproduction. Drop out the pens and look at me. You know about the sexual reproduction in human? We have learnt in before classes that how sexual reproduction in humans happen. Tell me something about this. Yes, you. Okay. Very nice. Sit down. So, we know that male and female cells are fused and make a child cell or zygote in humans. Same as that in plants. Also, male sex cells and female sex cells. Both are responsible for the sexual reproduction. So, the both cells are fused and make zygote. Okay? So, we are going to learn this process in a flower. Okay? There are 4 steps of a sexual reproduction in plants. Okay? Make a flow chart with me. Write a heading of sexual reproduction and classify in 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. Okay? First is pollination. Second is fertilization. Third is formation of seed. And the last one, germination of seed. Silent please. The first step we are going to learn is pollination. Okay, in the sexual reproduction, pollination is the most important process. We have learnt in the structure. We have to draw again. Two parallel lines, middle of them curves. This is stigma, this is carpel. The carpel is the most important part in reproduction. Okay. In the pollination, there is a role of two parts of the flower is stigma and anther. Let me tell you a most important thing that we have learned the flower is a bisexual flower. Can you tell me how this flower is a bisexual flower? Yes? Very good. This is the right answer, that when a male part and a female part both are present in the same flower, the flower is called bisexual flower. So, this part of the flower, I mean to say the carpel of the flower is female part, and the filament and anther, this part is called, a combined name is stamen, and the stamen is the male part of the flower. Okay, the flower we have learned is a bisexual flower. Okay, so in the pollination process, the pollen grains of the anther have some pollen grains in it. The granules like structure are named pollen grains. What they are named? Pollen grains. Very good. So the pollen grains of a anther are transferred to the stigma of a carpel. Okay, what is this? Stigma. We all know about this. Stigma. Okay. So the pollen grains of an anther, when transferred to the stigma, the process is called pollination. Okay. We have drawn the two parallel lines, two curves and stigma. The part of this flower is called carpel. Okay. The carpel is the female part of a flower. Then we have learned that the stamen means filament and the anther. Combinedly said, stamen is the male part of a flower. So, I told you the male part and the female part both are presented in the same flower. The flower is called bisexual flower. Okay. What is the pollination? Pollination process is when a pollen grain transferred to the stigma. The process is called pollination. Okay. The second step, we are going to learn how fertilization occurs. Okay. So, again, we have to draw the structure of carpel. Two parallel lines, middle of them two curves. I told you the curve name is what? Ovary. Very good. This is ovary. This part, carpel. Upper of that, stigma. The stamen, anther, pollen grains. So, in pollination process, what we have learned? Yes? Very good. The transfer of pollen grains to the stigma is called pollination. Okay. Pollination happened. Now, the fertilization step is occurred. How? Pollen grains stick to the stigma. I use the term stick. Why? Because stigma have a sticky nature. Pollen grains come to the stigma and stick here. Okay. Now, pollen grains have a process and burst here and make a tube-like structure is called pollen tube. This tube is called pollen tube. Okay. Inner part of the ovary, there was ovule. We have learnt before. This is ovule. We all know that in the ovary there is ovule situated, is the female part of the flower. Okay. Now pollen grains come to the ovule through the pollen tube. Okay. Pollen grains come to the ovary. So there is fusion. Fusion happened between the male cells and female cells. After the fusion, there is a combination of cell is formed, is called zygote. Okay. So here the next structure, here I am going to draw. I am drawing only ovary. Okay. This is the ovary. This is the ovule. Okay. Ovule, with the ovule, pollen grains fuse and make a zygote. Okay. So this is zygote. Okay. Zygote later become a bigger cell, is called embryo. This is embryo. Okay. And later embryo become a seed of a fruit. Seed. Seed of fruit. So, have we completed the formation of fruit? Any question? Yes? Yeah. Only we have learned the formation of seed. So, where is the eaten part of the fruit? I am going to tell you that actually we have completed the formation of food. See, this is the embryo. We all have learned by the zygote there is a bigger cell formed, is called embryo. Later embryo become a seed of a fruit. Okay. But what about the outer part of the fruit, the cover of the fruit? So, write down with me. Write down an important fact with me, that embryo later become a seed, ovary later become cover of seed. I mean to say the outer part of the fruit, and rest of the fruits becomes dice. Okay. So, make a box around it. It is a most important thing for your exams. Okay. Now, the third step is the formation of seed. We have written before the 4 steps of reproduction. Second we have completed, but the third process also we have learnt, that how a seed become from this embryo. Okay. So, this is the third step also. Write down the number 3 before this, that the embryo of this part later become a seed of a fruit. Okay. And what about the outer part of seed? Yes, this is from ovary and the whole fruit is generated. Okay. Thank you very much. Now, the fourth step and last step of the reproduction is germination of seed. We have learnt how a fruit generated, how a seed formed, but what about after that? So, seed what do you know about seeds? Yes? Okay. There is a seed in every fruit. Good answer. Sit down. Okay. I am telling you that seed are the initiation of making a new plant. I mean to say that by the seed a new plant is formed. Okay? Write with me the facts about the seed. Seed have its specific property to live inactively for long time. The meaning of that, seed have its specific property to live inactively for long time. So, can we store the seeds? Yes. The line is telling about this, that we can store the seeds because seed can live inactively for a long time. So, when the seed will active? Have you all any idea? Very good. When we spread the seeds in farms, the seeds have their favorable condition. Okay. When seeds having their favorable conditions, they grow and will become new plants. Okay. So, the whole process is called germination process. Germination is in the favorable conditions, seed will grow and make new plants. It's called germination. Okay. We have completed the whole reproduction process of the plant. The which type of reproduction we have learnt? Very good. Sexual reproduction. And the which type of flower we have learnt? Very good. Bisexual flower. So, do you know the definition of bisexual flowers? Yes, you. Very good. When the male and female both parts are situated in the same flower is called bisexual flower. Thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed with me in the class. Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed with me in my class, and stay happy, stay scientific.